If you're in your 50s or 60s and the numbers no longer work for you to retire in the USA, you are not alone. Maybe you don't have a pension, your 401k took a hit, and your savings were gutted by medical expenses. I'm Bill Hare from Affordable Retirement Abroad. After more than 40 years in financial services, I realize there's one lever we seriously haven't explored yet: where we live in retirement.
On this channel, when I talk about a geography pension, or a GeoPension for short, I mean using geography, choosing the right country and city so that Social Security plus a modest nest egg delivers the standard of living that our parents' generation enjoyed from a traditional pension. This channel is all about finding and profiling retirement destinations overseas where a geography pension is truly a viable option. Beginning in January 2026, I'll be traveling worldwide to do just that, starting with a 3-week research trip on Mexico's new Tren Maya, circling the Yucatán Peninsula and visiting multiple potential retirement cities, so you don't have to start from zero. In this video, I'll walk you through where I'm going, what I'll be measuring in each city, and how you can help shape the questions I ask on the ground. Think of this as the game plan for the Tren Maya Affordable Retirement Tour.
Many Americans considering retirement overseas, Mexico and Central America are the first places they look. They're close to home, similar time zones, and it's easy to visit friends and family back in the US. In the right cities, your money simply goes further, exactly what a geography pension is designed to do.
Within Mexico, the Yucatán Peninsula is especially interesting. You've got short, nonstop flights to the US, to and from Cancun, busy beach towns like Playa del Carmen and Tulum, quiet lagoon towns like Bacalar, and charming colonial cities like Campeche, Mérida, and Valladolid. Some are well-known expat hubs. Others are barely on the radar, but may offer better value for someone living on Social Security and modest savings. The new Tren Maya, a massive $25 billion infrastructure project recently completed by the Mexican government, ties many of these places together. Instead of renting a car or hopping from bus to bus, I can follow one main rail line around the peninsula, getting on and off to test how each city actually works for day-to-day life. Along the way, I'll also see what it's like to use the Tren Maya itself. Ticket costs, safety, comfort. How easy is it to get from the station into the neighborhoods where people actually live? That kind of practical detail really matters if you're thinking about moving here, not just vacationing here.
Let me give you a quick overview of the 3-week route I'll be taking on the Tren Maya and what I'll be looking for.
First up is Playa del Carmen. I'll spend the first few days there, not just along the renowned and touristy 5th Avenue, but out in the neighborhoods where people actually live. Playa is more expensive than most of the other cities on this tour, but it has strong healthcare, lots of amenities, and a big expat community. I want to see if you step back from the beach and the tourist zones, can it still work for someone on Social Security plus a modest nest egg? Next, I'll head down the coast toward Tulum and Akumal. Tulum has become famous and pricey, but there's also the town, Tulum Pueblo, and surrounding areas that may offer a different reality than the Instagram version. Akumal is a smaller, quieter beach town. Here, I'll be asking, what do you actually get for the higher prices in Tulum, and does a place like Akumal offer a better balance of peace, nature, and cost for retirees? From there, I'll continue south to Mahahual and Bacalar. Mahahual is a quiet beach town. Bacalar sits on a beautiful turquoise lagoon. These are the kinds of places people dream about when they say they want a simple life in nature. I'll be looking at how that dream lines up with real costs, healthcare access, and whether you might feel isolated or perfectly at peace. Then I'll turn west to Campeche, a historic walled city on the Gulf. It's less touristy than the Riviera Maya, with colonial architecture and a slower pace. Here the question is, for someone on a tighter budget, who still wants culture and safety, is Campeche a hidden gem? After that, I'll head to Mérida with a side trip to Progreso on the coast. Mérida is often described as one of the safest cities in Mexico, and it's already a top retirement destination with excellent healthcare, a strong expat community, and rich cultural life. I'll spend extra time there building an in-depth retirement profile for our channel. Finally, I'll visit Valladolid, a smaller colonial town between the coast and Mérida. It's more Spanish-speaking with fewer expats, so it's a good test case for people who want a quieter life and are willing to use more Spanish day-to-day in exchange for lower costs and a different pace. While there, I'll visit the world-renowned Maya ruin of Chichen Itza, one of several remarkable Maya sites along the route of the Tren Maya. I'm not going as a tourist. In each of these places, I'll be asking the same question. Could an American retiree on Social Security and modest savings actually build a life here, or not?
Now, this trip isn't just about collecting pretty footage. I'll be traveling with a standard checklist so that you can compare cities side by side.
First, cost of living. I'll look for realistic long-term rents. A modest 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom in local neighborhoods, not just tourist condos. I'll put together a small grocery basket to see what everyday food costs. I'll check the price of a typical local lunch, a simple dinner out, and what it costs to get around town on buses, colectivos, or taxis. Second, healthcare. I'll locate the main public and private hospitals and clinics, see how easy they are to reach, and whenever possible, talk to staff or locals about typical costs. A basic doctor visit, a dental cleaning, simple lab work. I'll also look at pharmacies to see how available common medications are and how prices compare to the US. Third, housing and neighborhoods. In each city, I'll walk through 2 or 3 neighborhoods where a retiree might realistically live. I'll pay attention to walkability, noise, shade, how the streets feel in the day and early evening, and I'll keep an eye out for long-term rental signs or contacts. I want you to see not just the postcard shots, but the actual streets you might be walking. Fourth, community and daily life. Is there an expat community? And if so, what does it feel like? Are there places to meet people, cafes, plazas, churches, groups? What is the local culture like in terms of markets, music, events? And what level of Spanish do you realistically need to get things done? Fifth, logistics and connectivity. How easy is it to get from the Tren Maya station into town and out to the neighborhoods I just mentioned? Can you live here without a car? How is the internet and cell data, especially if you want to stay connected to family or do part-time remote work? Finally, in each city, I'll pull everything together into a simple GeoPension report card, a 1 to 10 snapshot of how well this place supports a geography pension on Social Security plus a modest nest egg. I'll rate housing costs, healthcare access, safety, walkability and transport, community, language, climate, and visa practicality, and then spell out who this city is and isn't a good fit for. In other words, in every city on this tour, I'll use the same framework: rents, groceries, healthcare, neighborhoods, community, logistics, so you can plug your own numbers and preferences into what you're seeing. That's how we'll start to see where a GeoPension really looks viable and where the numbers just don't line up. That way, you're not just watching travel videos, you're getting information you can actually use in your retirement planning math.
I want you to think about this as our research project, not just my trip. The more I know about what concerns you have, the better questions I can ask on the ground.
So, in the comments, tell me 2 things. First, which of these cities are you most curious about? Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Akumal, Mahahual, Bacalar, Campeche, Mérida, Valladolid. Second, what's the one number you most want me to find for you? Is it a typical rent for a 1-bedroom? The cost of a doctor visit? A rough monthly grocery bill? Utilities? Something else entirely? I'll bring your comments with me and treat them like a checklist when I'm talking to locals, expats, and professionals in each city. If enough people ask about the same thing, say prescription drug prices or access to English-speaking doctors, I'll make sure to highlight that in the videos from the road. If you want to follow the Tren Maya Affordable Retirement Tour and see where a geography pension might actually work, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss each city as it comes out. This series will roll out over time as I travel and work through the footage. I'll also be turning this research into a simple comparison sheet for all of these Yucatan cities, covering rents, healthcare, costs, and my GeoPension notes side by side. When that's ready, you'll be able to get it through my website at affordableretirementabroad.com. And if overseas retirement is already on your radar and you want a structured way to run your own numbers and compare countries step by step, my course, Mastering Affordable Retirement Abroad, walks through budgets, visas, healthcare, and decision checklists in much more detail. You'll find the link in the description below, or go to affordableretirementabroad.com/course.
Either way, I'd love for you to come along with me on this journey. This isn't about just chasing some fantasy. It's all about finding out if a true geography pension can deliver you a more comfortable and affordable life overseas. So, all aboard the Tren Maya. Let's figure this out together.